going on, guys? This is Mike Norris. I'm here today with Victoria Kennedy, CEO of Victorious PR. How's it going, Victoria?
It is a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I'm very excited to have you today to just talk about PR in general, because as we were just talking about a little bit before we started recording here, we are, we're more of a marketing branch than we are a PR branch. And given that, I think our guidance on the PR front is probably a little bit 101 level compared to yours. So I'm interested in finding out what it is, what we don't even know that we don't know, and a little bit as to what your approach is and everything. But I think before we get started, I'd love if you could just talk a little bit about yourself and your background and everything like that.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, thank you for having me. And, a lot of people think that PR and marketing go hand in hand. And in a lot of ways they do. My background is in marketing, but it's completely different. It's a completely different beast. It's a whole other can of worms, but don't worry, I'll talk about that today. And it's not as scary as you think. And I'll be talking about some strategies and giving away some secrets about how your listeners can grow their own PR, but just a little bit about me and why you should even listen to me. My name is Victoria Kennedy, and I'm the CEO of Victorious PR. We are a full-service PR agency, and we help entrepreneurs, small business owners be seen and heard so that they can have a greater impact on the world. That's my big mission in life, is to lead with integrity for that reason.
Perfect.
My background is I'm actually an opera singer by trade.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Went to school, did several big operas, did musicals, all that good stuff. Actually traveled Europe, had a #1 hit single. But here's the thing that people don't realize is that in order to not just sing for your supper, right, you need to learn how to get in with editors, with journalists, so that your music can be heard, so that your music can be on radio stations, so your music can be in magazines. I've been on the cover of magazines, I've been in radios, I've done podcasts with my music because I was doing PR for myself. And that's how I got all of my sales. That's how I got that #1 hit single in Europe, is all through PR. So I've done it my entire life, so it was an easy transition for me because I'd been doing it for myself for so long. After I did my opera career, I got into real estate marketing. Went very successful. Like I said, background is in marketing. And what I found was I was able to easily get deals, not from doing what everyone else was doing, which was paid ads. I never ran paid ads. I actually built my business to 6 figures with 0 paid ads. And it was all through organic and through PR. And so the reason why I can speak on this and why I'm so passionate about it, why I'm an expert in it, is because I've done it in multiple niches myself. Yeah. So it's very easy for me to do it in other people's niches because I understand how it works and what needs to be done and how to do it efficiently. So after my real estate career, it didn't even end. It was going very, very well. But so many of my marketer friends were saying, Victoria, how are you doing this? You need to do this for me as well. And I realized that that's really my superpower in life, is being that connector, is being that person who gives the spotlight for other people. For myself, I've been in the spotlight my whole life, when you're on stage, quite literally. But now it's very fun to be able to shine the spotlight on other people.
Wow, that's amazing. So I got to ask, how did you, so this was just sort of like a natural,
very natural
talent that you had and you just figured it out as you went along, or?
Which one, PR?
Yeah.
Because PR, at the end of the day, it's public relations, it's relationships. So it's really just about having good relationships in life. And I've spent my entire life nurturing relationships, building relationships. That is why PR people are so powerful, is that they know so many people. And this is why it's one of those things, yes, you can do it yourself, but it does take a long time to do PR because you are leveraging connections that you've built your reputation building. Mm-hmm. So this is why it's really important to work with a reputable PR company. They're leveraging connections that they've built so that you can get the introduction to these people in publications.
Okay. So what goes into all this? Let's say today I came to you and I was like, Victoria, I've got a company that is, they've got some announcements coming up. Maybe they're moving locations, or they're opening a new location. They have new products launching, something like that. If I just approached you with that information, where would you go from that?
Yeah. So I'd say, 1, congratulations. That's amazing. That means you're growing as a company. That means you're expanding. Congrats.
Thank you.
What I'd like, of course, what I like to do is a multi-pronged attack. approach, I should say, approach. What you want to do is, if you're a local business, of course, the first number one thing I'm going to say is, let's get you in your local paper. Let's get you in your newspaper that everyone's reading. Let's get you in the local magazines that you have there, at the doctor's office and the dentist's office. Everyone has a local, city magazine. Let's get you in those as well. Let's get everyone buzzing and talking about your new opening, about your business. Now, that's just one approach, though. A lot of people stop there, but it's not just that. That's going to be great, but we also want to give you national credibility. So let's say you're opening up a clothing store, and now you're in all your local press. That's great. But what really impressed the people who are going into your local store is that you were also in Vogue. You were also in Elle.
Sure.
You were also in Yahoo Finance. You were also in Forbes, right? Now, not only is it going to be easier to get into local press because you've been in these huge publications, but also they're going to respect you more. They're going to choose your shop rather than a Macy's, rather than the mall, because they read about you and they heard that you've been featured in these places. So that's why it's not just one avenue. A good PR person, a good PR company, what you want to be looking for is somebody that understands that it's not just one prong. You have to build the credibility, go where your audience is, and give them the different mediums in which they want. Some people are watching TV, some people are listening to radio, some people like to consume content through podcasts. Some they want to read online. You want to make sure that no matter where people consume media, they're going to be able to find you and your product.
Sure. So multi-channel, multi-publication, you kind of just attack it from all angles.
Yes, multi-prong attack.
Okay. And is that something that works for everyone? Because I could see maybe a local business, I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate. And part of it is I don't know the answer to this, but if I'm a local business, do I need national publication?
If you want to be the market leader, you do.
Okay.
You absolutely do. And PR you can take PR as little or as great as you want, right? There are different varying degrees. It's not all or nothing. It's not like, I can't work Victoria because she's going to make me this amazing thing. No, like we can start small. It depends on what you need. Sure. If you're just starting out, for example, like a big win is just getting in your local press. That's a huge win. And the great thing about PR is you can keep these logos and these credibilities for life. You only need to get into Forbes once to be able to say you were in Forbes for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So you can take it small. It doesn't have to be all at once. I mean, our PR campaigns, we have some clients on year-long retainers because they understand how long PR takes. These are long sales cycles. We're developing real relationships for them. So it doesn't have to be all or nothing. And yes, these national publications are going to be good for you if you want to have longevity. Now, if you're just a flash in the pan business and you're like, Victoria, I just want to make a lot of money and then leave, then okay, maybe you don't need press. You're not trying to be an industry leader. But if you're serious about your business, then press absolutely needs to be a part of your strategy because you're building longevity. You want to be that market leader from day one.
So no matter if I'm a small business or a large corporation, I should at least be considering PR.
Oh, it should definitely be a part of your marketing strategy. Absolutely.
Okay.
Because it's going to inform all your sales. Why should someone go with your business as opposed to your competitor's business? Because I don't care what you do, at the end of the day, somebody else is doing what you're doing. And to be honest, they're probably doing it as well as you are doing it.
If not better. Yeah.
If not better. So why should somebody go with you and not your competitor? You know what the difference is going to be? Who's more credible in their eyes? Mm-hmm. If they Google you and all they see is you tooting your own horn with your website, why should they go with you? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this is why it's so important. It's going to inform your sales. It's going to inform your market credibility.
Okay, excellent. So then if you could walk me through a little bit of your process. I mean, if you could just walk me through, that'd be great. I don't want to ask another dumb question, so I'll just let you go.
I love your questions, and they're not dumb. They're just, and I'm so glad you're asking me these questions because a lot of people, they're like, what's PR? And I don't know what that is. And they sort of walk away because it's scary and they can't understand it. So please ask me these questions. I want you to understand at the end of the day, your listeners, it's very necessary for your marketing campaign. And two, it's not scary. You can start small. Mm-hmm. You can start very small. And one of the things we will talk about, stay to the end of this, is I'll talk to you about some secrets and some small things that you can do on your own to build up your credibility, even without a publicist.
Okay, great. Well, then given that, I mean, one thing that I hear a lot from clients is I don't really have a story. There's nothing I would put out there as a press release. Why would I, engage in something like this? I don't think there's anything interesting to say about me. What would your take be to that?
Yeah, so that's imposter syndrome, and that's okay. And what I'm here to say is that you are enough. You are amazing, and you have something, an idea worth spreading. That's why my whole mission in life, it's not to get press. My mission statement in my company is to inspire impactful leaders to be seen and heard, to have a greater influence on this world. That's my mission statement for my company. So if you're listening to this and you have a business, you did it so that you can grow humanity, so that you can make the world a better place. Even if you're just one step ahead of your customers, that one step is maybe what they need in life in order to get to the next level. And you have that. You're showing it, be it you're a coach, a CEO, a local business owner. You're in business because you know a little bit more, even if it's just a little bit, you know a little bit more than your clients. So you have something to say. You have credibility and you have information that they need to hear. What we do, we get this a lot. Our clients are very humble and they say, I don't know. This is why we sit down with them and we hear their whole life story, right? And we hear their life story. We hear what it is that they're doing, what their business does. And we come up with a creative angle so that an editor would pick it up, a journalist would pick it up, because, a lot of times we need someone to see us. We can't really see ourselves, right? So this is why I listen to their story. But even if you're listening to this, your story is relevant. You have something to share with the world, and don't be afraid about sharing it. The world needs to hear it.
Okay. And so after you sit down with someone and you hear their story and you craft your pitch and everything like that, I would imagine this isn't an instantaneous type thing where right away, all of a sudden, I'm going to have a ton of press coverage, right? You mentioned it being a long-term play. Could you dive into that a little bit more?
Absolutely. And you nailed it. What we like to do is we start with a 3-month contract for our clients, for example. And what we like to do is tell them, the first 2 weeks, do not expect any press. We're writing your articles, we're understanding your story, we are writing your press release. And then we like to say the first thing we do is write a press release. Now, a lot of your clients, like you told me, you already know how to do a press release. So yay, you're ahead of the game. It's the first thing you want to do. Then you want to use that press from the press release to pitch yourself to podcasts, right? We want to do multi-faceted approach, right? Podcasts are easy to get on the larger publications. So we start there. Once we get you on podcast, you feel comfortable speaking, you're getting some press, then we go after industry specific, local publications. Once they pick you up and publish you, then we go after the big dogs, the bigger publications. It's all a strategy. It's how you do it. And it's making sure you're building on the press that you're getting, because earned media is the most powerful thing you could possibly have.
Excellent. So there's a science to it. And all the
yes.
while you're building from one thing to another, using that as leverage to eventually get to, the big stuff.
Absolutely. You got it.
Excellent. Yeah. We do that in a similar way with SEO. We'll start, you've got a brand new site, something of that nature. You don't really have any credibility, and it's hard to get people to link back to you in that case, which is obviously a little bit different, but somewhat similar. And then, as you get more and more people linking back to you, maybe you're producing some great content, that kind of stuff, it all just seems to flow a little bit better. And it's also a long-term strategy there too. So I wonder, do you have any takes on, and it's okay if you don't, but do you have any takes on SEO in tandem with PR? Do you find that those two have a pretty good marriage?
They absolutely do. We actually have an SEO expert on staff. And so part of our package is every time we use your keyword and we link back to your website from our articles, we have UTM parameters on them so that we're tracking, who clicked it, where it came from, which article is performing the best for you. And we work hand in hand with SEO, because at the end of the day, we want you to come up on the first page of Google.
Sure.
We want our articles that show your credibility to be the first page of Google. Not just you tooting your own horn on your website, but these articles that you have nothing to do with. These are third-party people saying you're awesome. That's the kind of credibility that we're trying to build for you. So absolutely, we work with SEO as well, because we want to give our clients as many chances of success and authority as possible.
Okay, excellent. So I think you just kind of touched on this, but how do you measure your success? Is it through analytics? Is it through placements in various publications? What are you looking at?
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that we do that no other PR company does, which is crazy to me that they wouldn't do this, but no one guarantees publications. They do not guarantee. And I'm not saying I'm guaranteeing that, for example, you're going to get on Forbes. Like, that's cheating, and you don't want to do people who say that. But what I do guarantee are specific, like I guarantee that we're going to get you 12 placements, 12 placements. So at the end of our journey, 3 months together, you have 12 places that you were published. That's huge. And so I truly believe by standing by my work and saying, look, I don't know who's going to say yes, because at the end of the day, I can pitch you to my connections and they may say yes or they may say no. But I do know that I'm not going to stop until you get at least 12 placements so that you have publicity. And I think that's important. I think that's very important. And when you talk about what are the deliverables and like, what can you expect at the end? To me, that's what it is. And it's a mixture. It's not just, oh, well, we got you, 12 articles. No, we got you some articles. We got you some profile. We got you some thought leadership. We got you podcast so that you have that strong foundation of PR, which is so important. You shouldn't just put all your eggs in one basket, not in PR, not in life. And this way you're able to be in all mediums.
I love that, because I think generally speaking, when uneducated people like myself look at PR, we immediately revert to press releases. Like, oh, PR, press release, it even has the same initials, it just lines up. But you're referencing so many different types of content too. And I'd love to dive more into that as well.
Yeah, well, a lot of things that people don't realize. For example, I get a lot of entrepreneurs as clients. And let's say this entrepreneur, I'll give you an example of one, and they do real estate marketing. So they market to real estate agents, right? That's their niche. And they tell me, Victoria, I want to be on Forbes, right? They say that. And I say, great. Do you know when was the last time you saw a real estate agent reading Forbes magazine? Here's the thing. They don't read Forbes magazine. So Forbes is for your ego. So let's check your ego, because I'm here to serve you, not what you need, but what I know you need, right? Yeah. There's what I want and what I need. And that's what a good PR person does. It's not just, well, these are my connections, so let's just have you want what I already have. I don't do that, because it's not in your best interest. You really have to think for your PR strategy, what is my audience reading? What are they listening to? For example, I'm a contributor to the #1 real estate publication in the world, which is Inman News. So I would go pitch my clients to Inman News, which is the #1 real estate, because that's where real estate agents are. If that's their ideal client, that's a better win for them than Forbes magazine. They're going to get more clients. They're going to be seen with more authority by being in that magazine than they would be in some arbitrary Forbes, which is just for the ego.
That makes a ton of sense. I mean, you want to be where your client's eyes are, right? Or prospective clients' eyes are. And while, of course, sure, some of them might read Forbes, like a few, but not really as much as your industry publication, right? So exactly. I think that's another thing I've heard as a pushback on PR sometimes is, I don't know that my target audience is reading whatever it is or listening to whatever it is. Is there a way that you're able to identify industry specific audiences?
Oh yeah, we do a lot of market research. So as soon as a client signs with us, that's part of our market research, is we figure out, it's not on you, we'll do that. Because a lot of times our clients say, I don't even know what, dentists or chiropractors or whatever are reading. And I said, that's not your job, that's my job. Don't worry, I'm going to find out what they're reading, what they're listening to, where they like to hang out. And then I'm going to pitch you to those publications so that you can be seen as an expert in their field. And for me, I like to do industry specific podcasts, industry specific publications, because this is going to make my client be seen as an expert. And that's what I want. I want them in front of their target audience. I want them to be seen as an expert in their field.
Okay. And are you normally positioning the founder, CEO, or is there a mix of people in the company?
Yeah, actually, we work with you're a CMO. We work with a lot of CMOs. Typically, it's funny. The CMO will hire us because they understand, because the CEO doesn't get it. And the CMO is like, no, you don't understand. It's like, PR is not marketing. That's not my wheelhouse. You need to hire this company, So typically I work a lot with CMOs because they just get it. They understand what it is, which is great. And so a lot of times if I'm working with a CMO and we're talking about the CEO's company, I'll pitch the CEOs to podcasts, for example. I'll tell their story, but I also like to have the CMO on podcasts as well, because they know more technical stuff, right? So let's say the company is going after, we have a huge brand CEO, we work with their CMO, and they go after e-commerce brands. They're a big e-commerce like marketing company, for example. The CMO hired us, we're the ones we work with. Of course, we pitch the CEOs, but we also put the CMO on podcast because he knows more about marketing, and that's what people want to hear about on the podcast. So it's a mixture. You really want to make sure that the client is represented properly and in the best light.
That makes sense. And do you run into people who just really either A, don't want to be in front of the camera, or B, want to be in front of the camera and they don't do such a good job?
Yes, both. You know, that's why we add media training
Okay.
that's part of our package as well. If we get you in any podcast, we're going to make sure that you have a Radio One sheet, you know exactly who the podcast is, what questions they're going to be asking you, you know, what you're going to be talking about. And then we get you on a media training and we prep you. We ask you sample questions. We give you tricks and advice. We make sure that you have a strong call to action. You know, we really train our clients because at the end of the day, if they mess up, that's ruining my reputation as well.
Sure.
So I want to make sure that not only it's in their best interest, but it's in mine as well. And as far as some clients, it's very funny. I've had some clients being like, I don't want any podcasts. I don't want. So I don't get them any podcasts, but then they're in the group and they see so many of my other clients that they will be like, well, maybe I can try one podcast because they realize just how powerful a medium it is.
That's excellent. Now you just mentioned a group. Is it a Facebook group or something like that?
Yeah. So I put all my clients in a Facebook group. And what we do is anytime we get them published a place, we put it there in that group, one, so that everyone can be proud of them and be excited for them, but two, so they can easily share their win across social media because it's already on social media.
Oh, that's great.
I want my clients to share their wins. That's why you're getting press, to let your audience know that you got press. So instead of putting it like in a dull email, we put it already on social media. So all they have to do is share it.
Oh, I love that. And I'm sure it creates a community for them all as well, where I'm sure extra connections have been made. Some networking goes on.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. Were you going to elaborate on that?
We have 6, 7, and 8-figure business owners, even 8-figure business owners in our group. So it's a very diverse group. And if you know how to network right, I mean, you have the big movers and shakers in there because those are the people who want press, you know, the ones who are ready for it.
That's awesome. I really like that approach. I mean, as a marketer, I'm all about, you know, building communities and networking and building yourself up. And there's a lot of overlap there between PR and marketing. You mentioned you had some tips though, and I don't know if you want to dive into them just yet, but I'm very curious to hear these. And I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about them before we got out of here.
Absolutely. Well, good. If you listen to this far, you're going to be rewarded by hearing some quick tips that you can do to immediately build your authority. And one of them, and I'm not sure if you talked about this on your podcast, yes, profile funnels. Have you? Okay, great. All right. Well, this is the easiest and the best way that you can start getting organic people to see you as with an authority. So it's called in the industry a profile funnel. And what do I mean by that? I mean, let's take any profile you have, social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. You want to make that a funnel to get people to buy your service, to use your service, a coaching, whatever. How you want to do that? You want to optimize everything. So the cover photo should say exactly what it is you do, your logo. Click here to do X, Y, or Z, be it a lead magnet, be it a giveaway, be it to your website. That's what your cover photo should be. You know, right underneath your headshot should be as a little bio, like room for a little bit of bio. Use that to your advantage. That's prime real estate. Sure. You know, even if it's something as like dog lover, husband, and, digital marketer for realtors. Even if it's something like small like that, tell people what it is you do and link to your website, for goodness sakes. I like to do an RMS, a refined marketing statement. So I help X do X without X.
I love that.
Important. You know, because it's right away, somebody comes to your social, they know exactly who it is you serve and who you're talking to, right? Even with a little about, you can put covered photos, you can put featured photos. You want to make sure that you're seen with credibility. What mine was like featured in, and I put all the places that I had been featured in. It's so important, guys, because you may be thinking, oh, Victoria, that's just, social media. That's how I built my 6-figure business, was all through social media. That's how I leveraged the press I got, because press is nothing unless people know you got the press. So I posted everywhere. I've been in Forbes. I've been an entrepreneur. I posted that everywhere, because here's the thing, guys. You only have 3 seconds to impress people. People only spend an average of 3 seconds on your profile to make a decision about you. They make a judgment, a decision about who you are. You need to let them know within 3 seconds who you are and why you're an expert at what you do. And if you're not doing that, you guys are wasting a lot of money, or you're missing out on a lot of money. You're leaving money on the table because you're not letting people who already follow you, it's not even any extra work on your part. You're not letting them see who it is you do, and you're not being able to serve them at the highest level. So I recommend, if you take one thing from this, optimize your profile and just see how many people start reaching out to you for your product or service.
That's excellent. Yeah. And would you say that someone should do the same thing essentially across all profiles? Maybe use the same
Absolutely.
profile picture and everything to,
Branding.
yeah, for
Yep.
branding purposes.
Yes, absolutely. Keep that same picture. I've had the same picture for like, it feels like years, but I look the same. I don't really change. So I'm like, it's
Yeah.
fine, but that's good for branding. So people can start associating you with whatever your product is or whatever it is that you do.
Yeah. And so the social media, from what I'm gathering, has a pretty large impact on PR in general.
Absolutely.
Would you say that social media is a primary avenue of spreading the information?
I wouldn't primary, it's definitely one of them,
Okay.
right? So definitely one of them. As soon as you get any press, you're going to want to tell people. And I tell people all the time, you need to leverage this. So a lot of times people will get on a podcast, for example, and they will post that they were on a podcast and they think, well, now what, Victoria? Like, I already posted, now what? And I said, what do you mean now what? You have this podcast, this 45-minute video of you speaking nothing but value, giving people value. You need to cut that up. That's
Mhm.
5 videos that could be 5 separate posts from one podcast.
Mhm.
So it's all about repurposing, guys. We may think, oh, well, everyone already knows I was on that podcast. Well, not everyone listened to it. And Facebook and Instagram, they show your posts to different people. It's not the same people seeing your posts over and over. Every month, the algorithm will show your posts to different people. When I did a TEDx talk, which was just last month, I felt like I was posting it every day. I felt so annoyed even by myself of like, oh, I keep on posting, I'm doing TED. But I was so excited about it. And I was even annoyed by my own posts. But I kept on getting people saying, like, literally, I'd post almost every day about doing a TEDx. And people would still comment on these posts saying, you're doing a TEDx? Oh my gosh. And I'm like, where have you been? I posted about this for the last month. So it's just, we may think we're tired of seeing the same things, but we have to understand not everyone is seeing it. We're trying to show our posts to the most people as possible. Please repurpose your content. People don't know what you're doing unless you tell them.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's a really, really good point. I mean, on social media now, depending on the channel and everything, I mean, you're lucky if 10% of your followers see any given post organically. I mean, on Facebook too, it could be even worse than that. So I totally agree. You need to post it a lot. But I'm interested in the TEDx talk. Was there anything specific from there? Some highlights, some pointers you'd want to pull out and maybe mention to our audience here?
Yeah. So speaking on TEDx was one of my life's missions, was like my dream. I don't know if anybody else is an entrepreneur,
No, that's
anything
so
has
cool.
that,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was like, oh my, I used to think that only celebrities could be on TEDx because, those are my favorite ones, right? It's just like, wow, wow. And when I got mine, I realized I'm not a celebrity. I'm not I'm just normal Victoria. And here I am speaking on the TEDx stage. And then the people who were on the stage with me, they weren't celebrities either. They were just normal people too. And I realized it's not about being a celebrity. It's just about having an idea worth sharing.
Mm.
So that's why I'm coming out with a course, How to Land Your Own TEDx Talk, because I want to empower people to realize that you don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to have all this money. You don't even have to have written a book. I don't have a book written. I don't have anything, but I was chosen because of my idea. And so I want to walk people through, if you want to land your own TEDx talk, it's easier than you think. You just have to have the right things in order first. You have to have the right pitch. And so I'm going to walk people through how they can do it, and they can easily land their own. If they just follow the steps, they can land their own. You don't have to be a celebrity in order to do so.
Wow, that's interesting. Can I ask what that journey was like?
It was amazing. And honestly, it was the very first TEDx event I ever applied to. I got it like that. And so it's not, and I'm not this crazy story, guys. Like, I'm not, a person who has an amazing story or I had a disability and overcame it. No, my talk is about reinvention, and who doesn't reinvent themselves, right? So it's how I packaged my story. It was the passion I had. It was the credibility I had established, but it's not hard to do. And I want to share that with people. I landed it my first time, and that's not a crazy thing. You can
Sure.
do it too. As long as you do it the right way, you can do it too.
That's awesome. Are there any aspects of that reinvention that you think our audience would benefit from? And maybe if they're going through a rebrand or anything like that?
Absolutely. I think a lot of times because of the pandemic, a lot of people feel forced to reinvent themselves. And honestly, take this, guys, as the best thing that could have ever happened to you, because there needs to be destruction before there can be creation.
Mm.
I don't want to say destroyed, but what came out of the pandemic for me was starting Victorious PR. I was doing real estate marketing, and it was, I rebranded. And what I want to tell you guys is it's okay wherever you are. If you feel like, oh gosh, I have to reinvent myself, take this as a wonderful opportunity that you can reinvent yourself to whatever it is you want to be. I've been an opera singer, I've been a real estate marketer, and now I am doing PR. And I have credibility, and because I own it and I give amazing results. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be, a 7-figure run rate if I didn't, and it's how I chose to show up in the world. Everyone thinks like, oh, I can't because everybody knows me. Like, I've been a school teacher my whole life.
Mm.
And if I just say now that I'm selling, I'm doing internet marketing, people are going to think things of me. They're going to think that for like a whole 2 weeks, and then they're going to be over it.
Mhm.
I'm serious. Like, I was an opera singer, guys. I had so many fans. I had real fans who bought my music, who would follow me. And it seemed in their eyes overnight, I just decided I was going to do real estate marketing. It literally took about 2 weeks of a couple of messages being like, what happened? Are you still singing? What's going on? And then after that, they just accepted that this is who I am now and this is what I'm doing. Like, guys, who cares? They're not the ones paying your bills. This is your life. You're really going to let your life be dictated by people who are just going to leave you a comment or not? No, no. This is your life, and you're going to reinvent yourself to be whoever you want to be. And if you own it, people will come into your life and accept that. And if they don't, too bad. There's a block button. You can use it.
Well, you definitely had a unique journey. I mean, I've never heard of anyone going from opera singer to real estate to PR. I mean, it's crazy. The opera singer transition is so interesting to me, and I'd love to just talk a little bit more about your story. What made you go from opera singer with a number one hit in Europe
Mm,
to retail? I'm sorry, not retail, real estate.
yeah. Well, I'm sure if anybody who's listening to this, you may feel this way as well, where have switched, or maybe you're thinking about switching because of whatever happened in the world right now. And I'm here to tell you, from someone who did something completely different, it is possible. You can do it. I was singing in Europe, living my best life, right? Number one hit single, singing in castles and cathedrals. And then all of a sudden, and I speak about this in my TEDx talk, my life came crashing down. The government decided to not renew my visa. I
Mm.
had to come back to America with one suitcase, couldn't even take all my possessions with me.
Wow.
I had one suitcase and I had like nothing left in my bank account, because all of the money it took in like trying to get the visa, going through all of that, flying back to America, it pretty much bankrupted me. I come back to America and I have zero skills in life. Like, all I can do is sing. I can't even get a job at a cash register at McDonald's because I don't have that skill. All I know how to do is sing. And it's not like opera singing jobs are growing on trees, right? Especially in America. So I thought, I have no life skills. What the heck am I going to do? And here's the thing I'd also encourage you, if you're listening to this, you may think that as well. You may think, well, Victoria, all I've ever done was be a secretary, or I've done construction, and now I want to do something different. I don't have that skill. But what you have is so much more valuable. For example, I had the skill of PR and I didn't even know it.
Mm.
I was getting myself in all these magazines and doing all these things, and I didn't even know that was my skill. For me, it was just survival. So maybe if you were, a school teacher, you have the ability to like talk to people in a way that construct big ideas down to smaller ideas that people can actually understand. So that's such a valuable skill to have, so I would encourage you to think about what it is you're doing and what skills that you've learned doing that and what you can utilize that doing that moving forward. As I said, I didn't realize I was good at PR. I had to learn that and realize, oh my gosh, this is what I've been good at this whole time. So that's sort of how it came to be. I decided real estate marketing because I knew a little bit about marketing from doing the music, and a lot of my friends would retire from being a performer and go into real estate.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Because, as a real estate agent, you're kind of a performer, you put yourself out there. And so I got along with them so well. It was the people I knew how to speak to. So I naturally was drawn towards serving real estate agents in the marketing capacity. And like I said, it just blew up. Never did paid ads. And the whole time it blew up, it was because of the PR and the organic that I had known. And it wasn't until I finally realized that I decided to really switch and do it full time.
At what point did you realize that it was the PR and the organic?
It was during the pandemic. So I was doing extremely well in my real estate business. Everything was going fine. And then when the pandemic hit, real estate was not an essential business.
Sure.
So all of my real estate clients either left or put on pause because they're like, we don't know what's going on. We're not essential. We don't know when we can get back to work. So obviously they cut their marketing. So there I was with still employees to pay, with still a business to run. And I think I had like 3 clients left that were actually paying any money. And what did I do? I went back to doing what I always did, which was PR, because I couldn't, So very quickly, within like 60 days, I went from just doing organic to being a contributor to the #1 real estate publication in the world, and which led to being asked to be an Inman brand ambassador, which only 35 people get asked in the entire world, to being asked to speak at a stage for real estate to over 1,000 realtors. All this happened within 60 days, on top of other podcasts and things that I'd done. And all of these marketer friends of mine said, Victoria, and then all of a sudden my business was doing fine again, And my marketer friend said, Victoria, how are you doing this? Like, you just came out of nowhere and you're just like blowing up. And to me, I was like, this is easy. What are you talking about? Like, it's just, it's old hat. I've always done this. But I realized that it was a superpower that a lot of people don't have. And I realized I could help a lot of people. And I really enjoy it. I love, as you can tell, I love talking to people.
Yeah.
I love relationships. So I started Victorious PR. And within 3 months, we had made over 100K. And we're on the $1 million run right now. So it's been really great.
Well, it's awesome that you're living proof that what you're doing, what you're preaching and everything works. Yes. And I think that's so great to just be able to use that yourself. I mean, hey, this is how I got here. I can do it. I trust me, that it's a whole different conversation than someone else just saying, oh, I can do this for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Well, any final thoughts, anything like that? Any place that people could contact you if they're interested in getting in touch?
Well, I did write a PDF guide that I'd love to give to your listeners, and I can send this to you,
that'd be great.
So you can put it in the show notes. But it's a guide on 5 steps of how to land a top publication. So I will send that to you, Michael, and you can take a look at it. It's a free PDF, guys, and you can just learn how you can start pitching to these top publications and getting into these big publications. And as far as how to find me, my website is victoriouspr.com. But, what I'd like to say is, as you saw from this talk, I love relationships and connections. So please find me on Facebook, guys, just Victoria Kennedy. Send me a message. I'm a real person, and I like to connect to people human to human. So please send me a message and say, you heard me on Michael's podcast, you loved it, you hated it, you had a question about it, whatever it is, but just connect with me, and I'd love to help you and serve you in any way I can.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Victoria. I really appreciate your time today. There's some great nuggets here. And for anyone who's made it this far, we're going to have some smaller clips made and everything too of Victoria and some various points she speaks on. So look out for those on social media as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria.
Thanks for having me.